Hello guys and welcome to a new episode of the Football Show. As today we're going to talk about yesterday's Champions League's draw of the playoffs, also Europa League, and also we're going to talk about today's games in the Premier League, etc. as well. So let's get started, but let's start with yesterday's draws in the Champions League playoffs, as it will be another rematch between Jose Mourinho's Benfica and Real Madrid, and it's going to be a cracking game. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be another big game between Benfica and Real Madrid. Obviously, we all saw what happened in that game on Wednesday between these two, and it was crazy the way things happened in the end with the last minute goal from the goalkeeper, which helped Benfica qualify. So, yeah, crazy. It was a crazy match, and the fact that they play again, it's going to be fascinating. Mourinho is going to turn to the Bernabeu as well. Benfica, by the way, Real Madrid will look at this game and think like, over two games against Benfica, will think like, okay, we could go for revenge here. We could get look for a redemption here to beat Benfica. And Benfica will look at these two games against Real Madrid and think like, yeah, we beat them before. Yes, they were down to 9 men towards the end, but before that they were winning 3-2. Benfica will think like, okay, we've beaten them before, and we played really well against them. We should have won by more. We can do it. We can beat them. We can fight against them. So I think Benfica will have that confidence in them that they beat them and they can beat them again. So yeah, I think it's going to be very, very interesting two games. I think Benfica are at home and Real Madrid are at home in the second. It's not a foregone conclusion that Real Madrid beat Benfica. And listen, Real Madrid should beat Benfica in terms of the qualities and the players they have, and also with the resources and etc. Real Madrid compared to Benfica. But again, it's not a foregone conclusion, especially watching this Real Madrid team before. And if even this Real Madrid doesn't look good, you can never write them off. In the Champions League especially, because of the history they have, the quality of the players they have, you can never write them off. So I think Real Madrid should qualify for 2 legs against Benfica, but it's not a foregone conclusion, and Benfica showed that in the last game. Listen, Real Madrid should learn from their mistakes and they should be better and they will be looking for revenge. But at the same time, they need to show not only good results, also good performances. Because for most parts of this season, they haven't done that. So that's the first game. Second game, you've got Galatasaray against Juventus. Kind of a 50-51 in my opinion. But I think Juventus are at home, so that can give them an advantage. You've got Borussia Dortmund against Atalanta. Again, kind of 50-50, but Atalanta are at home in the second leg, so that can give them an advantage. Monaco against PSG, yeah, I think PSG should qualify. Karabakh against Newcastle, I expect Newcastle to qualify. Olympiacos against Leverkusen. Leverkusen in the second leg at home, so that can give them an advantage. Bodo Glimt against Inter Milan, that's not an easy game for Inter Milan. I mean, Bodo Glimt are a very good team. They've done what they did in the league phase, where especially they were up against it and they managed to win the last 2 games against Atletico and Manchester City to qualify for the playoffs. They're a good team as well. Inter, they're doing well in the league. Inter should go through, but it's not going to be easy because Bodo Glimt are a good team and obviously Inter have to play in that pitch in the first leg. And then you got Club Brugge against Atletico Madrid, where I expect Atletico Madrid to go through. So a couple of two good games, two games were difficult to 2 or 3 games where it's difficult to say. Where it's not a foregone conclusion, like Benfica against Real Madrid, obviously, for the narratives and the hype and what happened in the last match. Dortmund against Atalanta, and also you've got Galatasaray against Juventus, and also a French derby between Monaco and PSG, even though PSG should win. So, yeah. You got Europa League as well. The Europa League draw happened as well, whereas you got teams like Nottingham Forest were involved in the draw. Some other teams as well, like Lille, for example. But Nottingham Forest will play against Fenerbahce in the playoffs of the Europa League. You got Dinamo Zagreb against Genk, PAOK from Greece against Celta Vigo, Bran against Bologna, Lille against Crvena Zvezda, Ludogorets against Ferencvaros, Celtic against Stuttgart, with again Martin O'Neill back at Celtic, and you got Panathinaikos, against Victoria Pilsen. So, yep. Now let's move on to today's games. You got Leeds United against Arsenal, Leeds United, they're in a very, very good form in the last 10 games. I think the last 10 games they've only lost one. Yes, they are fighting for relegation, and the gap between them and West Ham is not that big. It's over 4 points, but they've been doing well. Leeds United, they are unbeaten in all competitions for the last 10 games, I think, since the Manchester City game. A lot of draws, but still. So it will not be an easy game for Leeds United. You know, they are unbeaten in the last 10 games, one defeat. It will be a tough match for Arsenal. And Leeds United, you know, especially after when they lost, before they lost to Man City, there was even rumours that Daniel Farke was going to get the sack. But they've been a good run of form recently. And it's all started from that game against Man City, even though they lost that game, where they were 2-0 down and they managed to fight back and they got a 2-2. They went to 2-2, but they lost at the end. But it was a good performance from them that game. And then they followed it up, beating Chelsea, made a good comeback against Liverpool, and a good draw against Liverpool at Anfield. They've been a good run of form. They only lost that one game against Newcastle, where it was in the last minute, where it was a cracking game. But they're a good team. They're still fighting for relegation. 4 points between them and West Ham, but they're a good team, and they only lost one game in 10 matches. Leeds United, they're at home. The fans will be up for it. It's going to be a good atmosphere. It will be a difficult match for Arsenal. Arsenal, they've not been in the best run of form in the last 2 games in the Premier League. You know, 0-0 draws against Liverpool and Forest, and obviously that disappointing defeat against Manchester United. So it's going to be a very important match for Arsenal to bounce back and get back to winning ways and try to put pressure on Manchester City before they play against Tottenham Hotspur on Sunday and go 7 points clear. And it will not be an easy match because Leeds United, they're at home, they're a good team, they play well, they're usually strong at home, and the fans will be up for it. The players will be up for it for Leeds United as well, so it will not be an easy match. And you know, can this game, you know, be a starting point for Arsenal where they get back to winning ways and they go in a good run? Because you know, if you watch that press conference from Mikel Arteta before the Cairo game, where he was kind of sending a message to the supporters and the players and everybody that's associated with Arsenal, talking about we're gonna play free for the last 4 months. So I think, you know, Arteta, what he was saying in the press conference is like he's kind of trying to motivate the players, the fans, and everybody at Arsenal to be like, okay, we lost to Arsenal or to Manchester United. We've not been winning in the last 3 games. Don't be so down. We can come back. And I think that's a positive approach for him. However, him saying that we're going to play with freedom and you're going to see the most freedom we've played in the last 4 months. I'm not sure about that because Arsenal don't usually play attacking, expansive football. But let's see. But I think that's kind of a siege mentality that he's trying to create. He's like, okay, you media you want us to you are desperate for us to fail again. Okay, watch this. And even in the press conference before the game yesterday, a reporter asked him, "You're having a bit of a wobble." The narrative that you're having a bit of a wobble, and Arteta was saying, "Is that narrative yours or?" So it's like he's trying to create a siege mentality, which I like that from Arteta. That's a positive approach, especially when Arsenal haven't won the last 3 games. So Arsenal have to get back to winning ways. Otherwise, if they keep dropping points, City will catch them if they start winning. So, and by the way, you know, City have got 2 difficult games coming up. So Arsenal have to try to take advantage in the last 2 games, the next 2 games, if City drop points against Tottenham away or Liverpool away. So, yeah, but it's not going to be easy game for Arsenal. Leeds United are a good team. They play good football. So not be easy game. But I expect Arsenal to win. I'm going for a 1-0 win for Arsenal. Wolves against Bournemouth. I'm going for a 2-1 win for Bournemouth. Brighton against Everton. Jack Grealish is going to be out for the rest of the season. It's a big blow for Everton. I mean, he was having a very good start to the season for Everton. He was having a good season so far, and for him to have an injury like this, which puts him end to the season for him in a season playing for Everton, is very sad. So, yeah. But my score prediction, I'm going for a 2-0 win for Brighton. Chelsea against West Ham. Chelsea have been a good run of form recently. They've been winning games, playing good football, attacking football and scoring goals. Defensively they can improve, but they've been scoring goals. West Ham, they've also improved as well. They've been last couple of games they've been in good run of form. However, they're still behind in the relegation zone, 3 points behind Nottingham Forest. I don't think it's going to be an easy game for Chelsea. I think West Ham will try to obviously play with the low block and play on transitions. So I think this is something that Chelsea will have to deal with. but I expect Chelsea to win. So I'm going for a 2-1 win for Chelsea. Um, so yeah, I think the momentum that Chelsea have right now with, you know, they've been winning games, especially the new manager, Liam Senior. I think they're going to carry on with that momentum in this game. Liverpool against Newcastle United. I mean, the last time Liverpool lost to Newcastle United was in December 2015, which is strange because it always feels like it always feels like Liverpool always struggle when they go to St James Park. But the last time Liverpool lost to Newcastle was in 2015, which is a great record for Liverpool to have. Will they carry on with that record? Let's see. I mean, Newcastle, they put in a very good fight against PSG, a draw. Yes, they lost to Aston Villa, they drew with Wolves, but they did well in Champions League. However, domestically, their form has not been the best. They are not far away from the fourth position. They are only 5 points behind. However, they're ninth in the Premier League. So this is a very important game for Newcastle. And Newcastle have got very tricky games coming up away from home. They've had tricky games away from home against Paris. They had a tricky game away from home against Paris Saint-Germain, and they're going to have to play against Liverpool away, Manchester City away in the Carabao Cup, away to Tottenham, away to Aston Villa in the FA Cup. They're gonna have to travel to Azerbaijan to play against Karabakh. Then they have to play Manchester City away. 12:30 kickoff. 12:30 kickoff when they're gonna leave from the game against Karabakh. So they've got a tricky run of fixtures away from home. But they play Liverpool away, who haven't been in a good run of form. They won the they played quite well in some recent Champions League games, but in the Premier League it's not been good at all. They haven't won a Premier League game since 2026. So yeah, historically they might have a good record as Newcastle, but they're going to have to step it up in this game. They're going to have to get back to winning ways if they want to have a better chance of qualifying for the Champions League. They're not far away from the Champions League, but they're places. But if they want to perform, if they want to get back to winning ways, they have to win in this game. It's a very important game from Liverpool. Will not be an easy game. Newcastle obviously will try to attack and put pressure on Liverpool and try to attack and create chances. Liverpool also will try to do that as well. So I think it could be a quite of an expansive game, as both teams going forward they do well, but defensively not so strong. I'm going for a 2-0 win for Liverpool. I think as bad as Liverpool have been in recent games, I think it's a game that they should get back to winning ways in my opinion. So yeah, Barcelona play against Elche away in La Liga. I expect a Barcelona win. Elche they are 12th, they're mid-table, but Barcelona top of the league, 1 point clear. And it's a game that Barcelona have to win to put pressure on Real Madrid to increase that gap before Real Madrid play their next game against Rayo Vallecano. So I expect Barcelona to win that game and go for a 2-0 win for Barcelona. That's it, guys. Thank you. I wish you have a nice day. See you next time, and goodbye.